What's good, everybody? It's Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction. Back at it with another reaction. Holy smokes. Drake has been exposed yet again. For what? Nokia. They got a reference track for this. Oh my goodness. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video on the road to 10K. Holy smoke. So I seen a video earlier and it was like the producer of Nokia and him doing like the baby girl and him cooking up the beat in general. And it's crazy because it's just all like, this was your comeback. This was supposed to be kind of like your comeback and him just throwing this out there and then to have it be leaked like this. It's just like either he's trying to do it on purpose, which again, why? Or he just doesn't care. And somebody brought up a good point. I forgot who it was. It might have been the person I was looking at that particular video, but there was a lot of complaints as far as during the battle between Drake and Kendrick that, oh, Kendrick takes so long to make music and da 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 da. But he writes his own music. At the rate of music that Drake has been putting out for years, because honestly, when you think about it, this recent project that he put out, it isn't any different than what he's been putting out. I don't think that there's been a project recently from Drake within the last couple of years that really stood out. It was just a lot of songs, and out of those, maybe a few, maybe hits, but he's the quantity over quality, and Kendrick, I believe, is the quality over quantity. And we've seen how it played out in this battle. But let's check out this video.
Now, when it comes to Drake, as right now, Nokia is the last thing that Drake has even kind of had going for him, and he is trying to turn this song into the anthem that will save his entire career as we speak. As now this is the only song left from Drake's SSS For You album that is being looked at under a microscope because it's the only thing that didn't just come and go right after it dropped. After diving into the origins of this record and how Drake exactly made one song that has not flopped since his downfall has started, what has now been discovered is that with every single part of this record that is considered even slightly memorable, Drake did not have any part in making this song, and only just stamped his name on the final thing after doing none of the work. And with everything else that has already been going against the guy, this could have never came at a worse time, and it has never made him look like more of a fraud. And now, before we go any further into all of this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and as what just happened has shown that Drake's biggest song right now didn't even come from him, really be sure to leave that like so hip hop can once and for all see how much Drake has tried to deceive all of us. And so now, with that said, when it comes to Drake, with the controversy surrounding how Nokia was made, everything coming out is really putting into perspective one of the most telling moments about the current state of where Drake's career is at as a whole. Because really what this is showing is that even when Drake is making us all think that he is up with this record, it's all an illusion because it didn't actually come from him, and the only reason he has had any success to his name recently is because another artist had a decent idea which he just fully stole. And now what has come out that has just made Drake look worse than ever has been a recent finding with an artist who goes by the name Elkin, who is credited on this song for vocals and production, but nobody would have expected his impact on this song to be this big. Because with a guy who has respect in the industry and who has worked in the background for songs from big names like Metro Boomin and Russ, with this Nokia record, he had the entire thing done in October with just his own voice, and all the catchy parts from the Who Callin' My Phone intro, and also the beat drops and switches, and with the whole roll call of names and samples. Wow. And with all of this, and again, this isn't just the instrumental or a small section that played here, but it's the
what I saw was him like cooking up the beat, and that's what the person who was reacting to what they were showing in the video. This stuff I didn't see, like the whole in October, him walking through like that. That's crazy. But again, it goes to show it's just all like, why is this even a debate? Why is this even a question at this point? Even since the beef, like there was even leaks that was coming out, and it's just all like, yo, everything that's hidden right now, or even slightly hidden right now, does not come from you, Drake, which is crazy, and he has the nerve to try to come at someone who is writing their stuff and still making hits. And like I said, I've expressed this throughout the whole beef. I've expressed this throughout multiple videos of Drake. My biggest issue with Drake is the fact that he has penned some dope stuff for other people, made hits. And I don't know at what point it stopped being him, but it's just so wild. And to have everything in 4K and for people to just pretend we didn't see that. Drake fans are just all like, yeah, but did it? And it's always never addressing the stuff that is in 4K. The people who have these critiques on Drake were not just pulling shit out of the sky. The stuff is here for us to consume. So it's always wild to me and baffling. And they call it hating, they call it, just all everything under the sun but the truth. We're looking at the truth. Why is this such a controversial thing?
Entire melody and arrangement of the track with all of its memorable parts and all of its vocals, except it's just not Drake's voice and instead his own. While the credits would make you think that Drake was in the studio with this guy and they just made this record by collaborating together, what this video he made shows us where the song is playing well before it was ever released. It's just that Drake didn't do a single thing other than put his name on a good idea. And now while Drake fans and people have been trying to spin this thing as just being a reference track, from both the way this song was made to the way he has presented it to the people, he is just lying to everyone. And while Drake fans are trying to act like he didn't do anything wrong here because he did credit the artist, and I mean the artist was actually fine with this, at the same time, I know Drake fans and anybody in OVO will never admit this, but doesn't it feel off that the only song that you have popping right now is a track that was made and performed by another guy originally, and then that Drake just put his name on altogether? Because really, for so many reasons, both when you think about how this only shows that Drake's best ability currently is taking other more talented and creative artists' ideas, and also in more perplexing that he still does not have the ability to make catchy pop songs back like many are trying to say that this song was. I mean, overall, while if we were in past eras for Drake where he was seen in a better place and had other things going for him, this really would not be as big of a problem, but with an entire album and era, where all of the other 20 records from this project are next to forgotten already and the only one sticking was made by another guy, I mean, this is just lame and there's no other way to put it. And especially when you consider that this is becoming the anthem for OVO and Drake, not just because it's a catchy song, but because to them it's now representing the return of Drake and how he is now.
Before we get into that, this video is sponsored by me. Hey, if you want to dive into new music, I have a catalog. Yeah. These are not singles, these are albums. But more recently this year, I did release an album called Tame Chaos. So you can listen, stream, download, purchase all of that in the link in the description. And just, check it out because I want to see if people are actually seeing this and going to the site. So, anyways. Oh my goodness. It's so weird. Sometimes I look at and hear some of these narrative and hip hop, and I'm just like, man, this is not what I grew up on. Not saying that there wasn't gossip, not saying anything like that, but I grew up reading Source magazine, reading Double XL magazine. So I would read these stories of these artists, and it's just so crazy to me now that we're looking at the type of things that are like are celebrated now. And it's just the wildest stuff. Drake's existence in hip hop and treating hip hop as the way he's been treating it, and people, there's still a good amount of people that are Team Drake. It's just very wild to me. And it almost seems like the it's just people hating the opposites, you know. So if they're Team Drake, they just seem like they cannot have any type of affiliation or uh music from Kendrick or any of his quote unquote ops, and it's really weird. It's really weird. Like, how do y'all feel in hip hop? The thing is, like, this is kind of the known maybe in like R&B and stuff like that. But even then, to me personally, I haven't got help with like a bar. Everything that I put out has just been what I wrote, and it just comes from right here, comes from the heart. You know, I really couldn't imagine making music or performing music that I didn't write. To me, it's just a foreign concept, you know? So let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think it actually matters as long as it's Drake's voice on it? Because if that is the case, it's going to be a weird place in the near future, especially with the rise of AI, that somebody, if it just sounds good, where do we draw the line? You know, and just because it has this person's voice, we already have it at this point where you can type something up, choose a particular voice, a rapper's voice, have them sing or rap or talk what you type, and it sounds like them. So it's interesting. Let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments. I'll leave the full video for you. But hey, it's Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, back at it with another reaction. Make sure to like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video on the road to 10K. Make sure to check out the description for my music, books, comics, and more. All right, y'all. Peace.